So I'm already missing our time together. We um very blessed to also meet everybody who came from out of town, and um it's always good to come together. Also, it lets us know that communities are important. I was going to say on the drosh today, Ruben pretty much it took a large part of what I was going to talk about. Julian and I had talked about this. It seemed like he said that when he would put together droshes and stuff, a lot of times the Ruach Kadesh would put that out there. It was even sometimes two or three times a message, it would be taken. And that's just because I think we all kind of have the same mindset a lot of times. Um, Bezrat Hashem in the future, I'll try to write up everything so it'll be more able to be translated into Spanish. Bezrat Hashem in the next couple weeks, hopefully within the month or maybe the start of the new um, um, calendar year. Maybe we'll start with the walk through the Tanakh. As it's a big part of uh, the the Bible, as it were, that we're missing a lot of times. So I think it's good so that we can walk through that. But so this Torah portion is for me one of the most exciting. If you've been around me, or let me first off saying those that met me in person last week, I wanted to apologize. And one thing I'm working on, there's a midrash, there's a mitzvah in the Talmud that says we should strive to have a happy face, right? This is very, very difficult for me. So I have like I was in pain and I was grumpy, and so if I offended you with my grumpiness, or I apologize. So I am really working on being a smiley face. It's very, very difficult. I was raised in a negative kind of atmosphere where everything was bad and it was contaminated at the same time. So it was like super, super negative. So it's hard to get out of that. And um, we have to constantly strive for, um, we have to strive for positivity. Uh, the guy in Houston, Joel Osteen, I don't want to go that too far, but it is very important that we try to be positive. Okay, so took in the rabbit trail too far. All right, so this Torah portion is very, very important, and it's also one where we could stay in for years. It is so deep. Just the first chapter of Bereshit is so deep, so complex. Our rabbis say that we should be careful not to get obsessed with complex understandings, because theoretically, okay, there was a famous man scientist by the name of Sir Isaac Newton. He was given a kingship, or he was given a knighthood by England. That's why he became a sir. But he was obsessed with finding and cracking the code on Daniel's 70 weeks. And in that time, he was so integrated into that and studying that, he came up with a byproduct was his calculus. The man was just out of his, he was just so intelligent, right? But we have to be careful of putting things in the wrong perspective. These are interesting things, but the Torah itself, the written Torah, is what we need to study first. And anything that comes after that, Midrash, Tanakh, Anything else, the oral Torah is to be disseminated later. So it's the written Torah first, and then the oral Torah. Okay, so so I have this book here that we use in our family. It's called the Weekly Parsha. It is through. Oh, I don't think my camera is letting it be on here, but it's through um, Art Scroll. So it's very, very digestible. There it is. Okay. So I gave some to the Vegas. They have a set, so you could probably be checked out either through our family or theirs. But the Midrash now for whatever reason, Chabad chose to integrate Midrash into their Torah portion. I'm not a huge fan of that because the Torah is explicitly written in a way it's written, right? I'm not going to poo-poo Chabad. I'm not going to throw shade on them, as it were, but it's just very uncomfortable when people change the Torah around. There's a little bit. It is very, very explicit in this week's Torah portion. Okay, so when researching Midrash is very, very interesting. I think it helps, or it could detract. Okay, so we have to go back to the original source in the Torah, and then use it as a tool. Okay, so for instance, what things am I talking about? Like, okay, so there's things that happen in our Jewish tradition. We have Ashkenazi traditions, we have Sephardi traditions, we have Mizrahi traditions. The Mizrahi are the Jews that have stayed in the land of Israel. I would be more inclined to, we have Texas traditions too. But like for instance, my grandmother, she would spit everywhere. Right? She's like, "Oh, what are you spitting?" Because I'm getting rid of the demons. And then she would do the cursing, the evil eye, and then she would throw salt everywhere. That's one thing my daughter's picked up on, throwing salt. She just throws. My grandma would just throw salt. And later on, I was like, is it a sumo tradition? It's interesting how these world traditions got in there. Okay, but they're not something you stand on and make your be all end all, right? If you're interested in going through the Midrash, there is a wonderful resource called The Legends of the Jews. This is a chronological Midrash that was compiled by Rav, I just had it in my head, Ginsburg, Rabbi Ginsburg. He's one of the founders of the modern conservative movement within Judaism, which was a move toward a more baseline approach to oral Torah. It is available. It's important that when you study it, you also get the bibliography to know where the sources come from. At the end of his life, he was getting very, very sick, so he just got the bibliography to update it. So some things are kosher sources, some things are not. So you have to, when we're talking about midrash, you have to do that. Okay, so took a big long trail to get to where I'm going. Okay, um, so as believers of Hashem, of being Jewish, we have to believe that Hashem is true and his word is true. Okay. Now, when I was a Christian, I was taught that God created us flawed, that we had this inclination to sin, that we were always, that we couldn't overcome it. And Rabbi Reuben pointed to the Torah today that Hashem said, listen, I've given you the ability to overcome it. Sin is crouching at the door. I've given you the ability to overcome it. And if it's that way for our father or Cain, then we can overcome it. Absolutely, positively. The fact is we just don't want to, right? Going back to the Midrash, reading the Midrash, Cain was kind of the good guy, right? Cain was he was on the straight and narrow. He was a rule follower. He was trying to do everything right. And Abel was just kind of willy-nilly. He was blessed physically. He was he was larger. He did everything, and it seems like it doesn't. The Midrash says basically that it was in response to him being there was a fight, and Abel pinned Cain, and Cain had enough of this bullying kind of behavior, and he turned on him and killed him, right? So, but that doesn't justify what Cain did, right? Cain killed his brother, right? And Hashem had warned him that this was escalating. He's saying, this is escalating. You need to stop it. You need to put it into it. You need to put a kibosh on it, right? Stop it. It's wanting to destroy, but you can overcome it. You just got to be able to have the want to, right? All right. So when Hashem created us, now, do we believe as Jews the word of Hashem? The answer should be yes, absolutely. Okay. So when Hashem created us, okay, now, when Hashem, I apologize, my dogs are going off. When Hashem created us and he created all of creation, he looked down from his holy throne and he said, it is good. Okay. Do we have the faith in Hashem to trust him? Okay. He views us as good, right? That is what he has viewed it as. Now, Hashem, in his mercy, in his judgment, in his mercy, his judgment tied with mercy, came in and says, look, so that you can understand, I'm going to put my terms as if I have emotions. Now, Hashem is high, way far high above us. So he's just, right? So when we try his patience, he does have where he gets kind of frustrated with us, okay? But he expects us to come and ask for teshuvah and try to make things right, okay? So he created us as good. That is in detail. He knew what we were going to do. He knew that we were not going to be able to, well, we chose not to be able to wait for him to give us the fruit in the proper time. We chose that. He knew that. He knew all the steps from the beginning to the end. He knew it. And all that he said were good. He said this creation is good. Everything that's created, that he created, is good. That includes me, includes you, includes everybody on the earth. And we have a choice to believe in that goodness. So the choice, just like the writers have said in the Tanakh, in the Torah, in the Besorah, today is the day of salvation. Today is the day of choosing. This moment right now is the time of choosing. You can choose to be good and believe Hashem on what he has proclaimed over you. So, Baruch Hashem, Shabbat Shalom.